Welcome to the top 8 grand finale top deck list of the new ban list, where Ash was limited to 1, Wanted Seeker was also limited to 1, and in addition to this tournament, we have a new pack coming out this week. Shortly after you watch this video, there will be a stream on YouTube and on Twitch on the new pack release day this Friday, so make sure you check out that in addition to this event, where it looks like the ban list did a pretty good job against Snake Eyes. A lot more people were not playing it, or at least not doing well enough with it to make it into the top 16, thus not as many in the top 8. If you watch this video as long as you can, that greatly supports us. Thank you very much. Hajime.
There can only be one winner, and you're looking at it. Let's go.
Rock versus Rescue Ace. I am very much excited to be watching Bystial Runick. Brock won the popular ban tournament. Now we are abiding by the real ban list, the Konami ban list. We are just implementing it early. This does affect the tier list. Everything in this tournament is super legit. And we now have an Apollo USA. So we go from 4 disruption to 5 to 6 to 7. 7 disruptions to play through. Can Brock do it? Let's go. Runick tip, searching our deck. Emergency, change summon from our deck. Oh boy, totally balanced, of course. Since you're gonna add, I will trigger the fire attacker to maybe draw 2 cards into even more disruption. We may draw into a hand trap. Nope, didn't happen. Still at 7 disruption. Runick, fountain it up. Lubellion's gonna activate to search the deck for a Bystial. Baron to floor negates. We're gonna use the freezing curses to negate the negates, and it looks like it's going through. Thus, we're gonna lose out on that form of disruption, leaving us at from 7 disruption down to 4. 4 ways to disrupt. Promethean Princess will pop, Extinguish will pop, Contain will negate, Preventer will flip face down. We just drew 3 off of our Runick field spell, banishing the opposing player's Little Knight from the grave. That's gonna be our Promethean Princess play right here, right now. And then the finger is coming out, fingering the Promethean Princess, negates. We are now down to 3 disruptions left. So far, we've been playing really well through the other 4 disruptions, just like that. Reborn Lubellion from the graveyard. This is where we may use Extinguish or Contain. Extinguish Lubellion before it sets up a branded spell trap from the deck, which would be the Regained, which will allow us to reborn from the grave and draw a card every turn. Now, the Huggin's going to protect us from destruction. Now, if we read the Extinguish, a big part of the Extinguish is the monster we are targeting is with the other purpose of making it so it cannot activate for the rest of the turn. Does it still turn off the Lubellion? Does it still prevent it from activating if it does not destroy? Probably not. Destroy it, then, if you currently control a Hydrant, your opponent cannot activate the card and effects of that destroyed monster. Then only works if before the then happens. We don't destroy, then nothing happens. You completely disregard everything after then within the same sentence, nothing. Because Huggin protected. Now we have Contain. We could still contain it. Contain the Lubellion from setting up that Brand Regained. What we have left is Preventer, and that's it. We could rescue our Preventer to flip face down. We didn't have to do so. We held on to it. The rescue could also be considered as a pseudo-disruption through stealing a monster from the opponent's graveyard. If we maybe wanted to stop them from summoning a Bystial, that could be a potential play. Now, what we have left is... What? We just use Droplet for the crazy effect of your opponent gets to draw a free card, but then they lose 4 cards off the top of the deck, but that then also triggers our Dispelling to randomly discard a card from the hand. Let's go. Now, all this banishing is not so good if they have access to the Rescue Ace HQ. If this is sent to the grave or banished, then you're in a great spot because they have no real way to recycle their cards back in the deck. But luckily for Rescue Ace, they have it in the hand already. Not if it was randomly discarded, which it was not. Damn, that was another opportunity. A big discard that would have been. Trigger the Runick Fountain, return 3, draw 3, you're now under Maxi. We're going to be rescuing in response. we're going to be fingering what you are trying to rescue. Do not rescue the Turbulence. Banish, negated for 2 turns. Now, Turbulence doesn't mind being banished if you have access to a Preventer. If when sent to the graveyard, it will trigger to reborn your banished card. But as we are saying, it is negated for the full turn. We're losing a ton of cards here. The Rescue Ace HQ will very easily return them back. Flashfire is now being used to wipe out the Apollo USA. Are you like trying to deck them out or what? You're not really going to be able to do that with the Rescue Ace HQ. But through a Runick Destruction, which is limited to 1, that is what you need to be doing to delete the field spell on its activation to return cards back. Hydrant, we have the Airlifter, airlift off into an emergency. We now have the field spell here, and if I were the Rescue Ace player, I would be fearing the Runick Destruction. That would be the end of us if that were to be the card they have. As you can see here, limited to 1, pop that field spell, and then we are screwed. Moment of truth, it's good. We are fine. Returning back in the deck, recycling our cards, we're not going to deck out. There's no way. You can keep on banishing. You're just going to be refueling my Rescue Ace HQ. In fact, they're happy with you banishing. Please continue to banish my cards as I return them back and keep on drawing. Off the top of the deck, we have the Flashfire to pop a monster on the field, take out the Fire Attacker. Now, same thing, remember, then, if you don't do the thing before the then, you don't do the then. The then is banish cards off the top of the deck. If you don't destroy, you don't then banish 2 cards off the top of the deck, so we're going to dodge that. Summon from the deck, Preventer, dodge Destruction, no banish. We can flip a card in the field face down. Fountain is triggering, return 3, draw 3. I would like a counter on that Runick Fountain. Has it drawn 12 cards this duel so far? I think so. We're going to call by the Grave Finger the Lubellion, dodge the Finger, so we still get the search for a Bystial. Very well done. Only a quick effect if the opponent controls a monster, which of course they do. Missed Finger. Come to us, Serenir. I think we have another Lubellion in the graveyard. No, we do. Yes, we do. We did have one. I clicked on it as it was being summoned. Preventer flipping it face down before they could set up with a Branded Regained. Now, successfully freezing the Preventer, which could have dodged the freezing curses had we saved the emergency for the curses instead. Be gone you go. And the Preventer being sent to the grave will trigger to reborn the negated Turbulence. So even if we make another card in the field leave, the Turbulence will not be triggering to get popping. There you go. It does show that it is negated. Containing Lubellion. Gargola will not allow Brock to gain access to the Branded Regain, which will every turn reborn from the grave and draw a card every turn. We are banishing after normal summoning an Ash. What the heck? We're going to link off with that. It's not really going to help us with a Synchro Summon. Serenir activating a send from the deck to the grave after being sent to the grave. All we have left is Little Knight and Ash. We don't have any more Runick cards to trigger our field spell to keep on drawing. This is not good. We're going to send to the grave to come forth and summon the Diablo Star, 9 to 400 damage on the field. We're not going to waste any time. We're not going to activate anything so that the Little Knight would not be able to chain and banish one of our cards. And just like that, we missed lethal by 300? How? Ash negate the Rescue Ace HQ. Did we miscount? I don't understand. How do we not have game? We have so much damage. Link Karibo is here. Poplar trigger. Let's speed this up. What is Brock going to top deck into? Uh-oh, field spell gone. Well, can't really top deck into anything. Thus, Brock doing the correct thing, calculating, picking up the entire deck, draw any card. I still lose. Now, let's take this into game number 2. You could Dissipator back the Fountain. That is true. But if you're returning your own banish card, you were talking about Fountain. We were actually talking about the Rescue Ace HQ, which they don't have a way to get that back. But yes, if you do lose your Fountain, the Dissipator is a way, and a non-optimal way, but it is a way. Instead of negating the opponent's monster, you are going to be destroying their monster. We're going to use Gamma to negate the in response, the Little Knight, just like that. Little Knight negated. Little Knight by banishing the grave would trigger the regain to then return the card that's banished back in the deck to draw 1. All stopped. Holy moly, Brock just got super screwed. Sending the Lubellion, you summon. So we're going to reborn from the graveyard off of your summon, and then we're going to be ending our turn. Regained off of the end phase, banished, drawing into a second copy of the Maxi, hopefully drawing into a Runick card. We need a Runick card badly. We have just the curses in the grave. We draw in another Runick card, we'll be able to draw 2. Ooh, holding Maxi for the main phase, and now we're up against a triple tactics talent. Brock was someone who did use Maxi within the draw phase, but I mean, if they already used Gamma, should we have just Maxi in the draw phase? What do y'all think about that? So we're just hard playing into talents. There was no more Gamma to be used, and now we're potentially in trouble. Poplar come forth, get that guaranteed draw to not draw into a Runick card, which we desperately need to trigger that field spell. Further summoning under Maxi. Gargolo, are you good? What are you doing? We now have a droplet. We can now drop the lit, summon a body onto the field, trigger the field spell, draw 2. Druiswarm is here. Regained, draw again. We can now draw 3. Yep, there you go. Thanks to the Linkuriboh summon, we now have a draw 3. Slumber will ensure that the Druiswarm cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. As we return 3, draw 3. That's pretty good. If we look at the hand, return a Quem, we have another Quem. And we have the curses to negate. Little Knight on summon will activate. You can't really curses negate it because it will then chain banish itself in response to the curses. Thus, we just let it banish our field spell because what is the other option? We don't have one. It's like, do we like chain? You can't chain Dispelling to like trick it. Like you can't even trick the Little Knight to trigger off, to activate in response to something else, to then use curses on it to negate everything. Send to the grave to come forth and summon the Hydrant. Hydrant, get searching. Bro, we're still under Max C. How many? Brock has plussed how many cards this turn? 3 special summons, regain, draw, field spell. Like, have we drawn 7 cards this turn? 8 cards? We keep on going. Turbulence set up into the back row. The curses is not activatable to negate that turbulence for a multitude of reasons. The Little Knight could chain banish it in response to it, and the field spell's not there to even activate it. So that is a big problem. Now, to get access to the Dissipator, did you just try to destroy the wrong one? Yes, we actually forgot. The Extinguish tried to extinguish the Protected from Destruction Slumber Druiswarm, as we now reset the Extinguish back onto the field. Now, the Slumber Protection is just until the end of the turn, right? It is going to be just for the next time it would be destroyed this turn only. So it's not like a double turn. The Purrely cards is a double turn, but it does not work like Purrely. Alert with the Hydrant, add from the deck an Impulse, which will chain to a monster effect to summon from the deck. We're now going to extinguish the Druiswarm for real, which it will not trigger due to the Hydrant being on the field. Lubellion is going to discard, searching for a Magna Hut, which will trigger the regain to draw a card. Ooh, Linkuriboh dodging that banishment. We now do not get the regain draw, and the Magna Hut does not get to summon. Regain does trigger to reborn the Druiswarm back onto the field, but the Druiswarm still, for the rest of this turn, cannot activate. It will not send a card in the field to the grave. Dispelling's going to special summon. What the heck? Sleipnir is going to banish the Turbulence off the field temporarily, as the Impulse chains to the Sleipnir to summon another Turbulence, which will trigger off of that Turbulence to then pop a card in the field. Goodbye to the Branded Regained. We're now going to be chaining our summon of a Huggin to protect our Regain from being destroyed by the Turbulence, as we also chain the Fire Engine, which is triggered off of the summon of the Turbulence to come forth and summon, which will also be triggering if you special summon to then summon a monster from the deck. That's exactly what we're doing, as the Huggin has successfully protected Regain from being destroyed. From the deck or grave. Okay, pretty good. Yup. From the hand, deck, or graveyard, the Fire Engine gets a special summon. We're now going to be summoning a Gary. Gary and Serenir into the Little Knight. That is a fusion monster, thus the Little Knight will banish on summon. On summon, going for that rescue, triggering the Serenir. We're going to chain the rescue to rescue from our graveyard here our Impulse. Little Knight will chain banish itself, plus the opposing Little Knight, And our Little Knight, so what happens here is, since one of the targets are no longer on the field, you will not banish yourself. You're going to stay on the field. And you're going to lose your Druid Swarm, and it will come back during the end phase, though. All right, rescuing our Impulse. This is an exciting duel. I wish I could see the timer from both players here. We have Quem on summon, sending from the deck the Golden Sword Soul, now ending our turn. What's interesting about the Golden Sword Soul, if we banish a card off the top of their deck with any use of our Runick cards, that will trigger the Golden Sword Soul to reborn a Quem from the grave. Now, the Sleipnir is activating to just summon a token here. It's such a weird effect. Summon a token onto the field. Impulse will chain to that to summon from the deck as we then activate our Max C. We're going to chain Emergency to summon before the Max C resolves, thus drawing one less card. Send an Airlifter as the Impulse now resolves. Get that draw as the Runick token is now here. Regained is being triggered to reborn a Bystial from the graveyard. If you summon from the extra deck, the Baldrake will banish. So we may want to destroy it by battle or flip it face down. Within the battle phase, the Sleipnir will activate as it could be used during your main phase or the opponent's battle phase to temporarily banish. Magnahut banish, trigger regained, return back the Little Knight, back in the extra deck, draw a card. Are we planning on any way to get back our field spell? We need that field spell. We need to make the Dissipator, as someone was saying earlier, to return that Runick Fountain back in the deck. Hydrant is here, searching for the Impulse. As the Emergency sets a trap from the graveyard to then make it usable the turn it is set thanks to the Hydrant. Further linking this up into our own Little Knight. Little Knight on summon, banishing the Regained, and we're in massive trouble. We need Regained, we need the Runick Fountain, we have neither. Nothing. So we make our Dissipator, we have to return both of them back in the deck. Some Runick Bystial players do play more than one Regained. Add a Baldrake during the end phase. We do have the Pater play. The Pater way, destroy the Druid Swarm. We could have used Slumber to protect it from destruction, but we do want our battle phase. So good on Brock for deciding on not protecting to instead use the battle phase. We're going to Emergency, Ash negates, but now the Little Knight can respond to the Ash by banishing itself off the field. That's exactly what we're doing. We're going to banish the Impulse in itself. We're going to Curses, negate the Little Knight, and thus you will be destroyed by battle. Is a field spell randomly banished at this point? Yeah, I guess I should have commented on that earlier. The field spell is not in the game. Both players, one of field spells, are banished, but only one of them can return their field spell back into the deck. We both need the field spell to recycle and draw. So we are now waiting for the Pater to be able to negate and destroy. So when the opponent activates a monster effect, you could shuffle. Then if shuffled, you could then destroy. It is, yep. So we're going to now make a Psyframe Lord Omega. Omega from here, banishing from the hand. Now, the Omega states that it says on the resolution you have to banish this face-up card and one card from your opponent's hand. Well, if you're face down, you're not banished face up. So that's a problem. Thus, we are negating by returning your Effect Veiler back in the deck instead of destroying your Preventer, which would be flipping down the Omega, stopping it from banishing, but getting our Fountain back into the deck. We're going to Imperm, negate the Dissipator, mate. Negate. Flip face down, do not banish from the hand. Oh my gosh. And what we could have done is also use the Pater to special summon the banished Omega back onto the field. Further show calling into the Chang Ying in response to the resolution of a card being banished, which a lot of cards just got banished. We're now going to banish a card in the field and in the graveyard. If you don't have access to your Rescue Ace HQ, what are you going to do? It's a ticking time bomb. It's inevitable that you're going to lose. The Impulse has made it so the Chang Ying cannot activate for the rest of this turn as we then flip down the Dissipator. Hida is now here. Hida can reborn from the opponent's graveyard. We're going to be reborn in the Turbulence of the Preventer being sent to the grave, stealing the Ash, linking this all up into a Baron de Floor. Now, the Chang Ying is still protected from destruction. It can banish in the graveyard instead of being destroyed, but it cannot activate. We're going to destroy the face-down Dissipator. Now we lost our field spell for good. You need Regained to Reborn Dispater. Regained is gone. You need Dispater to return the Regained or the field spell back in the deck. I think they're both out of recursion. They have no way to recycle. It's whoever runs out of juice first, unless Gargolo just wins the game right here, right now. If you return the Changing back on the field face down, it's no longer protected from destruction. Thus, you destroy it while it's face down, and you then win the whole duel. Just like that. 8,500 damage on the field. Zealantis is too good to not be playing. Take out the Turbulence. The Golden Sword Soul is going to be triggered to Reborn from the grave. It absolutely does not matter because the Zealantis is going to wipe out 2 cards in the field. So we're going to pop 1, pop the 2 others. They have 3 bodies as they summon the 3rd, but we have a full field wipe into lethal damage. And Gargolo just won due to time limit anyway, but it was the turn that we were going to lose. It's not like we had something that we could have done. Purely Happy is going to be making the Purrely Leap indestructible from card effects. And we are chaining Maxi to that. We're going to be chaining Gamma to the Maxi. Gamma really good in Purely because everyone's chaining their Maxi to that Purely quick play spell. Got him. Now, do we have room in our extra deck to actually make something out of this? Are we making an Excel Synchro? Nope, just a regular Omega. Omega, banish a card from the hand. Now, why haven't we made the Omega first before further committing with other plays? What's going on? Alrighty. So what's interesting about waiting with the Purely Leap is the Memory and Happiness can return a back row card on its equipping. So you could be the direct chain link to spinning it back. So if you activate something like a field spell that activates the search on activation, you chain your Delicious Memory, equip, spin it back, you stop the search. So let's see what we can do. And with equipping the Delicious, it will make the Purrely Noir have 4 materials. So we're gonna leap, chain Delicious, equip, no backward to spin back, as we now have Quadra Spin. So when they have the Sigma in the graveyard, they activate to summon. We chain spin the Sigma back in the deck, and we're good. Or we can spin back Circular also. That's also an option. What are we spinning? Circular is going to be our target for spinning. Get that full out of here. Be gone. Normal summoning our Chi-Chi. When are we using our second and final spin? Now. Spinning a Chi-Chi back in the extra deck. Thus, the Sigma is ending the turn. They have no other play. The Ignister is required to summon a non-link Ignister. So Dark Infant, no good with Sigma. Returning back to the hand there, Picari. Are we going straight to the battle phase first with the Omega before banishing the card from the hand? Yes, we are. At the Purrely Noir, we're just going to link it off into an SP Little Knight. This is troubling. I would not feel confident as Justinian is right now. This is not good. The Omega is going to return back the Purrely Noir. Our only form of disruption is the SP Little Knight. Uh-oh. And they have an equation for extension. Chain Little Knight to the Picari, and we can then special summon the Picari from the hand if we want. We have equation to Reborn from the grave. Let's speed this up since there is no form of disruption. Let's go. Wait, nothing. No Chi-Chi in the graveyard to Reborn? Where'd the Chi-Chi go? A Chi-Chi was deleted. What the heck? Did we ever have the Chi-Chi? Completely whiffing the regular Purrely instead of discarding it with our Sleepy Memory to summon a Lily to grab a my friend Purrely to then make plays off of that. Was that a mistake? Should you confidently assume that the Purrely's gonna grab a card off the top of the deck? That's reasonable, right? I don't know what to say. What the heck? I meet you, come to me off the top of the deck, and we now have Small World. I Meet You is going to be searching our deck for something like an Chi-Chi. We just have the SP Little Knight. So when do we get banishing? Reveal a fire to get a fire, activate the field spell, summon as long as we have nothing occupying the main monster zones. A Chi-Chi linking off with the Dark Infant into the Cyberse Wicked. We're now going to be banishing the Wicked so it does not trigger to search the deck for a Boo-Roo-Roo. No Boo-Roo for you. Why include Dynamorphia? That's the only deck using the Acray Dragon. Is it not? I'm just assuming that's what you're talking about. We're going to be grabbing from the deck the Bururu that you stopped me from searching. We have the Bururu sending from the deck the Gachiri, making the Wind Pegasus, which could get popping on that back row Sleepy Memory, which we desperately needed a card to discard to activate it. Now we're really screwed. We're really playing off the top of our deck here. We top deck a Lily. Not bad, because we could go into the Nor, into the My Friend with the Quick Play, chain the Quick Play to the Nor, equipping the Quick Play to then make our plays, to grab a Purely Leap if we're playing more than one, since one is already banished, and that is too much already. I guess the turning point of the duel was the regular Purely whiffing its effect. Had we just discarded instead, which, you know, you could maybe argue that's not the optimal play. You should assume that you should get a card off the top of the deck, or maybe you shouldn't. So that was the interesting scenario there where we got unlucky. Draw phase quick play plays around two things: Droll and Veiler. So if you really want to play around that Veiler, or you just have the Purely Street, which inherently already plays around the Veiler, you're fine. Purely off the top of the deck, come to me, Pretty Memory. When do we Veil? Well, we can't really Veil anymore now, can we? We're going to special summon the Lily. Lily activate. Cannot Veiler its mate. Grab the My Friend Purely. Activate to reveal 3, guaranteeing a Sleepy Memory to me. Activate the Purely. We did not negate with the Veiler, because we would have just got the Sleepy Memory into the graveyard anyway. We are going to be equipping the Happy to trigger the effect to set up a Purely Leap from the deck. We have the Lily equipping from the graveyard, the Pretty to now have a monster negate, and now ending our turn. Let's go. We have the ability to draw only 4 cards here. 4 cards drawn. Imperm. Okay, so we have to imperm in the draw phase, not the standby. So I don't know if we have the dual setting incorrectly set where we do not have it where it toggles on at the end of the turn, but we do need to have that on. Because if you imperm in response to it activating, instead of drawing only 2, they're now going to draw 3. Right? Am I correct on this? Am I missing something? Is my brain fried or what? You tell me. So there you go. Now we draw 3. That's going to be draw 1, draw 2, draw 3. Let's see if the third drawn card matters. So this Maxi would have been in the hand, but this card would have not. The dead Gamma anyway. We have negate a monster. We have spin. We have spin. We have Veiler negate. We have to play under Max C. And the X-Purely Nor cannot be targeted for the whole turn no matter what. And the X-Purely Nor is completely unaffected from activated effects. So what do? We played that 4 disruption. The X-Purely Nor is going to spin back the Buru. We're scooping it up. No, I'm out of here. I'm out. A Chi-Chi getting Gamma, hard Gamma, just like that. Wipe that fool out. Damn. Should Gamma go to 3? Is that controversial to discuss? I feel triple Gamma helps out going second more than going first. And going second, we could argue, needs more help. Going first is still too good. No one wins the coin flip and chooses to go second unless they're playing something like Makonko, some nonsense. So with that objective fact, and beyond that, going first overall likely has a much higher win rate, probably up to 65, maybe 70% across the board. Going second needs some more help. Imperm, negate the Purely. Gamma to 1, like TCG. May as well just ban it, because that killed it. I don't think anyone's using it in TCG whatsoever. Lily activating, which cannot be targeted by the impermanence due to the straight Purely Street. Straight Purely Street puts in so much work. It's so damn good. Everyone wants to play Veiler and Imperm to negate the Snake Eye Ash. And everyone wants to play Rescue Ace that targets with all of their effects. So use that to your advantage. Play Purely. Punish those playing Veiler plus Impermanence and playing Rescue Ace. This is the place, right here, right now. Become a furry. Delicious chaining to the Purely Happiness. We're now going to be making the Alan Burt indestructible by battle. Boom. You're screwed. Huh? It's going to destroy it. Did we have a happy? Did we activate happy and apply? What did we apply the happy to? Did we activate a happy? Happy activated, and it doesn't show on the duel log because Konami's a fool. But if you activated happy to protect this from destroying itself, then it actually would be stuck on the field. Oops. Yeah, so, I mean, straight up, that's a misplay, right? By not doing that, because the Achichi is public knowledge in the grave. We just lost 4 attacks, and I think that was actually lethal. YOLO Mourner off the top of the deck, thank you very much. Let's get Equippin'. Equippin' the Pretty is really good because we now get to suck up their back row. Get sucking. The problem is we're no longer newly special summoned, but now we are, thus we're unaffected from the imperm. Now we could send to the grave, suck that imperm. We have another Pretty, we could suck again. We only have 1 suck, but per Pretty, that's a lot of sucking. Off the top of the deck, come to me. We're gonna spin that back row instead, cross out Designate, banish the funniest card from your deck, and I guess we chose Equation. Okay, hilarious. Lily is here. Activate, come here. My friend Purrely, equip from the graveyard, delicious into the plump. We are now going to double suck the graveyard whenever we want. Sucking up your grave, get a little boost. We're gonna have double X Purrely North through the Purrely Leap. We're gonna draw how many cards? 1, 2 cards drawn, and we are scooping as we're unaffected. We got spins, we got more spins. Spin, 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 spin. Draw, draw, Moonlit Chill, negate. Justinian advancing to the top 4, mate. Let's go. Bonfire, activate. Oh, hey, limited 1 to our hand. It's as if it were never limited, but we have the impermanence to negate. Negate the Ash. If Crossout Designate were at 3, Snake Eyes would definitely be playing it in Master Duel, as many of them are playing it in TCG, so thankfully that's not the case. We do not need Snake Eyes negating the impermanence with Crossout. Link Rebo Pass, that's what you get. We have the Coup Clock activating. You could chain to the Coup Clock. The Coup Clock has to physically be in the graveyard to witness you activating an effect, discarding by cost, to then trigger to reborn from the grave, to then make the Coup Clock effect applicable to activate the trap that you newly set this turn. We're gonna chain that Max C. Let's go. We're gonna finger that Max C because we're not special summoning once, we're doing it twice. So that's a negate on Pot of Greed. Do not draw 2. And not only are we special summoning on our turn, I plan on special summoning on your turn, and the Maxi is also negated on your turn. Trigger the Divine Temple, summon the Oak, Oak reborn the Ash, Ash add Poplar, Poplar special summon, but we are going to be summoning Lovely. Lovely will trigger to pop a card on the field or in the hand. Now, the Infinite Impermanence should negate, but if you negate, I would argue it could be a good idea to make a Muckraker. We are going to have a card being added back to the hand, and we could reborn the Lovely to then add back our Big Welcome Labyrinth. We're going to be fingering the Ash as you're attempting to reborn it. Impermanence negate the Lovely. Transaction rollback, copy the effect of the Big Welcome. Even better than making a Muckraker, we're going to dodge the Impermanence by summoning again from the deck, dodge the Imperm, finger the Ash, limited to 1 by the way, be gone. Now Ariana will also be searching, and the Lovely is now choosing on resolution to get poppin'. Wipe out the Oak. Oak be gone. Ariana, search our deck, or draw a card actually. We drew a card off of a monster leaving the field from a trap effect, so we just re-summon the Lovely that we returned back to the hand. Let's get to it. Reduce to 0, deal some damage. Lovely is going to be recycling the Big Welcome that... No, Imperm instead. Okay, all right, interesting. Imperm is good. Oh, damn. Labyrinth, clapping up Snake Eyes. Very well done. Wanted Seeker searching for our 3rd Diablo Star. Don't ever negate the Wanted Seeker, mate. Send Diablo Star for Diablo Star. After knowing they added Diablo Star, we still didn't max seed just to play around the Gamma still. Lullaby of Obedience is, okay, declaring Lovely. That's it. Ooh, that's interesting. You usually play just 1 Lovely, and now you have to give it to me in my hand or summon it onto my field. Huh? Let's freaking go. Yoink! Onto the field. And we do get the draw for that maxi play. What? It's now in the back row? Oh my gosh. Victinium, is this gonna work? Will this actually work? We just turned off Impermanence, the main way to out Snake Eye Ash. Oh, this is beautiful. So well done. If we weren't under Maxi, you know, that actually kind of screwed this all up. Wanted Seeker, return a card back in the deck, recycle the Subversion, draw 1. Do we still cook under Maxi? We're gonna keep on going? We're gonna normal summon. Okay, makes sense. Sure, very good. Normal summon. Do we make a Masquerena? Nope, not even Masquerena. We just pass like this. I think it does make sense. This is a battle of resources. We do have to be careful. So chat, help me out. How do we deal with our lovely in the field? So can our own field spell pop it? The field spell states it is allowed to destroy any card on the field. Yeah. Labyrinth, pop it. Is that the only way we're dealing with it? How else do we get it out of our back row? I think that's one of the main ways. Is Entis pop any card in the field? Any card in the field, Entis. Entis and field spell? I think so. There you go. Meaning we could search for the out right here, right now. And the Chandelier can send the transaction roll back to the graveyard, so we could copy a card from the grave, copying the Big Welcome to be used again. We could still set the field spell from the deck. Yep. Send transaction roll back, set off the field spell. Good. Now we have Torby in the circulation here. And we just popped the Lovely right now. Yep, just like that, Lovely is back. And it's back to the point where we could summon it right here, right now. We could Muckraker it, we could Big Welcome it through the effect of the transaction rollback. Barely an inconvenience, it wasn't even an issue. We're gonna, I guess we're going for we're going for Chaos Angel, not Muckraker. Chaos Angel, since we could reborn it with the Big Welcome. On summon, banishing one of 2 Flame Burges from the duel here. Copy, reborn, return back, activate, pop. How do you not think this is cool? They're not floodgating, okay? There's no floodgates here. It's just doing cool stuff. Take out the Diablo Star trigger, send, reborn. And we're gonna be able to take you out. Also setting up a card into the back row from the deck. Cool. How is this not cool? Come on. What is the issue? If this wasn't a mommy, you would be okay with the strategy. If this was like a dude, that'd be fine. Why do we hate this deck? I'm curious. Muckraker, reborn the Chaos Angel. Yeah, buddy. Recycling Chaos Angel twice in one turn. How is that not cool? On summon. Goodbye the field spell for good. Discard, set up to the back row, welcome Labyrinth, non-target pop. Holy moly. Just like, the poppage is unreal. We're gonna pop with the field spell, we're gonna pop with the Lovely, double pop, we're going to negate with the Imperm. Let's go. Ash is here, Imperm, negate the Ash, also negating the Subversion that we did not use before summoning the Ash. Now we cannot push the Chaos Angel into the back row. Damn, we are in trouble. Lovely reborn through the field spell, and we could pop twice. Double poppage. We could also set any trap from the deck if we want to. Link Karibo, come forth, and now we're going to get popping. Summon the Lady, pop Diablo Star, trigger the Lovely, non-target pop. You have no idea what they're gonna pop here. You know to just surrender. And we're out. I think it is an accomplishment from Konami for a control deck to control without floodgating. That is good. That's what I want to see more of. I don't like them having to, the lazy design is just give a floodgate and then make it good. So being able to do a lot of pops, I think that's a good way to control. Rescue Ace, HQ, we got the Airlifter, we still have our regular normal summon. We're holding onto the Ash for the Emergency or the Hydrant. Those are your good negates. The Hydrant is a 2 of, so that's what you don't have to really, I think it's reasonable to negate the Emergency, not expecting them to follow up with a Hydrant normal summon. Oak with the original Sinful, send to come forth and summon. We have Super Poly. If there's two monsters of the same attribute, they will fuse together. That's all you have to really know. So we're going to be adding the Divine Temple. Come to us. Garura fusing with their field. Get that Ash out of here. Equip the Oak, Divine Temple, setting up the Flame Burge. If you summon that, you just did. You did it. Good job. That's going to trigger my field spell to then summon my Flame Burge from the back row. Airlifter triggering to now search the deck for a spell. Got Emergency. Now, are we even setting up Disruption through Flame Burge? No, this is not Disruption. The Imperm is our only form of real disruption. Chain Emergency, we are going to be counting up for that Nibiru, likely not playing into it. Summon number, well, you know, this does increase our likelihood of playing into the Nibiru. The Fire Engine is a summon that will then summon into another summon, but that's still just 3 summons, so we're on summon number 1 still. Into the Hydrant, okay. Who thinks Nibiru is happening this turn? Imper, oh, no. We impermed the Hydrant that's untargetable due to having another monster on the field because the Hydrant could not be targeted. Shoot. That was a massive blunder, but something we'll never repeat again, okay? So there you go. Just don't do it again. We're on summon number 3. We're getting pretty close to getting Nibiru'd, which I now think we will. We're gonna get Nibiru'd. Summon 4. All right. Ash activate, add the Poplar Mate, trigger to come forth and summon from the hand. And now when do we Nibiru? We know there's a Turbulence, so we're gonna try to wait for when the Turbulence would be whipped out. Nightmare Phoenix on summon, activates, pop out that back row card. Goodbye. We're gonna finger the Airlifter in the graveyard, negated for 2 turns. Follow-up Turbulence is coming soon. We don't have a way to stop that Nibiru. That's it. You have to Nibiru right here, right now. Tribute off that entire field. Damn. Just like that. How big is that token gonna be? Humongous. 84, 13,000 defense. Oh my geez. Wait, it's a 13,000 attack. Oh gosh. Almost 14,000. Insanity. Now, the Flame Burge being sent to the grave, triggering to reborn the Ash. We had nothing to Chain Link block the Ash, where the Oak normally would have been able to, but it already activated its effect this turn. We're going to be using the Rescue Ace HQ, return 4 cards back in the deck, draw 1. The Emergency also already activated its effect this turn. Original Sinful, return back in the deck, come to me Hydrant. We have that normal summon ready, but we already used our Hydrant this turn. So what are we doing? Diablo Star is triggering our Divine Temple to summon the Flame Burge in our back row back onto the field, but it no longer has any relevant effects. Set up our Wanted Seeker. It's not looking good for Liss. Additional summon, link off into the Anima. We got the Anima. There's no way to play around the Anima because, you know, we had 4 bodies on the field. We now have a Dark, steal a Dark monster from the graveyard, which there is none. Can't believe how much more relevant Hida is than Dark. Everyone was playing Dark. Reborn the Fire, and then we're just like, where are we going from here? We're gonna lose. The Oak's gonna send the Flame Burge. It's gonna reborn. They're gonna go into Zealantis. They're gonna banish our field. It's gonna come back. We're gonna get popped. We're gonna get wiped out. Let's not waste time. Let's go to game 2. Bonfire, come to me. Poplar, trigger into possibly a Max C. Give Ash Blossom to negate that Max C. And we are now going to be dependent on our impermanence. We're not going to negate Poplar. We're going to send for Diablo Star. We're not going to negate the Diablo Star. We keep on saying no. You're not going to eat my imperm. We're going to send to come forth and summon. Now, it's scary on what to really do here, because if we wait for them to normal summon, the Hydrant is going to be protected from the impermanence. But, you know, imperming a Hydrant early is just bad. So we just hope they don't normal summon, which they didn't. And I thought that we would take this opportunity to imperm, but we did not. Was the Turbulence hard opened? We did not search it, so I feel like that was just a good imperm. We have the Emergency to dodge the impermanence anyway. And I know some people might be thinking, you're supposed to save imperm for Turbulence. I don't think that's the case anymore, because of the Little Knight. They're deaf. If they can, you know that they can make a Little Knight with the Turbulence, then what's the point? You may as well imperm early to stop them from gaining access to the Turbulence. So we're going to chain Emergency, summoning the Turbulence to dodge the imperm. Imperm is just not as good anymore, especially if they have the Emergency. There's just so many ways to stop it. So the second best thing you'd be thinking is hold the imperm for next turn. All of their disruption is in the back row. They sometimes, like this, usually are not going to even have the Preventer on the field to negate with your imperm. They're going to wait for you to commit. After you commit, they then summon Preventer afterwards. So your imperm is bad. I don't know what to say. Early imperm is the only way to use it. So we are going to be banished from the grave, come forth and summon the Turbulence. Now imperm, of course, is amazing against a deck like Snake Eyes. So, you know, Rescue Ace is benefiting from that. Early imperm on the Masquerena ended up being pretty good, to be honest, which is usually not a normal part of their end field. We're going to be summoning our Preventer here. We're going to use Preventer to flip down the Fenrir before it triggers off the monster effect. We're going to be tributing for feet. We got Kurikara. You are now surrendering. Yeah, I mean, what are we going to do? They have Extinguish. They have Contain. The Masquerena was extra. What do? What do besides lose? Let's go to game 3. What do we got here? We have Bonfire against 0 hand traps. Oh my Jesus. So it's essentially full power Snake Eyes with possibly even more hand traps in addition to their normal play. So while decreasing the consistency of the deck, you actually increase the power ceiling a little bit because in addition to their normal turn 1, if they actually are consistent enough to get it done, they then have possibly even more hand traps. Now, this is not the case here because Imperm and Ash were already played, but a lot of them are having extra droplets that they were not playing, extra Nibirus that they were not playing. Got Raging Phoenix, we Raging, and let's go. So our disruptions will be the Masquerena, the Promethean, the Imperm, the Ash. We have about 4 disruptions here. The Mask could be more than 1 disruption based off what they summon. Ash will negate. We're now down to 3 make. Caught with the Grave. Negate. Let's go, let's go. Flamebear's summoning that Masquerena from the back row. It's crazy how powerful Snake Eyes is when they really don't even put up that many disruptions. They're just so immensely resilient. They could easily play through disruption. They're not easily one-turn killed after you play through the disruption because they keep on reborning, and then the recursion that happens on the next turn, they're surely going to one-turn kill you afterward. It's almost like Snake Eyes is a turn 3 deck. Imperm negates. So we're now down to Promethean and Masquerena. Masquerena could make an Apollo USA potentially. Bonfire into the Masquerena. What is this going to be? It is an Apollo USA. So we are now going up to 4 disruptions. So, you know, when you add Apollo USA to the mix, that's when there's an issue. Hear me out. There's a real case for Apollo being banned possibly, right? I don't know. Like, what's the collateral damage on Apollo being banned? Is that the way to hit Snake Eye? If Snake Eye just goes into SP Little Knight only afterward, the ceiling is still dramatically reduced, right? And how many people would cry about losing Apollo? It's like, how many mad lads are playing this nonsense? Who cares, right? Rescue Ace, Infernoble Knight, you know, just summon something else. That's it. Summon something else. Get out of here. We have Promethean Princess being triggered, popping the Poplar, plus taking out that Relinquish Anima, attempting to suck up our Apollo USA. It ain't happening. Reborn the Link Karibo. Wipe them out, come forth and summon. Let's do it. Poplar trigger, equip into the back row. Poplar, equip the Flame Burst into the back row. Diablo Star, come forth and summon. They won't ban an Altar card. There are examples where they have banned animated cards. Imperial Order, they gave an animation then banned it, right? Diablo Star is going to be negated as the Link Karibo banned in the TCG to help protect Apollo USA from battle. That is what Link Karibo does. Thus, I don't know, I guess Konami TCG thought that Apollo would be more balanced without Link Karibo. As we did see right there, she is now protected. She has one more negate in her. And that is our final negates. No more negates left. But you're just out of juice. And this is super wham bam, thank you ma'am, lethal on the next turn. So now that you played through the disruption, how are you going to stop the impending lethal damage next turn? Banish in the grave to come forth and summon Preventer, Shokan into the Promethean, trigger our Preventer, reborn the banished Turbulence. Turbulence set up 4 cards into our back row. That's not going to be enough. There's no way. A Seam has to be winning next turn. Further Shokaning into a Raging Phoenix. Raging Phoenix into a Zealantis. Main phase 2 banishing the fields. Okay. Sure. Set, summon, set, summon, set. There we go. And we're going to be reborning our cards. Come forth. We don't have a battle phase, but we do get to trigger our Promethean Princess, wiping out the Flameburge. Raging Phoenix being triggered off of the destruction of Flameburge to reborn itself back onto the field. Come forth, and it's what? 5,800 attack? Yes, it is. We have Raging Phoenix, extinguishing the opposing Raging Phoenix, making it not summonable for the rest of the turn, even though, I mean, not activatable, that is, but it already activated its effect. We're going to steal Flameburge. I mean, Liz, you're going wild. What is going on? Pushing the Promethean Princess in the back row, that's something. If I didn't have a Divine Temple to reborn it from the back row after you summon during our turn. But if you banish that Divine Temple, that's another story. Liz, you cooked. That was good. We have to fear the battle phase now. In the battle phase, the Zealantis could pop 2 cards in the field due to being co-linked to the Little Knight. Beyond that, we have 1, 2, 3 disruption through flip face down, pop a card, and negates. We could banish with the Little Knights, and so we have about 4 disruption in addition to our Promethean Princess that I thought we had in the graveyard. Yes, we do. We have 5. 5 disruption for Snake Eye to play through. Subversion is going to push into the final back row spot that's open. We're going to banish the Apollo USA to make it more difficult to summon your own Zealantis. So we have 4 disruption left. We're going to rescue from our graveyard Preventer, which is one of our 4 disruption. Flip down the Oak. Link Karibo is going to be dodging the flip down, even though you could tribute a face down monster anyway. Come forth in Shokan. And we're now down to triple disruption, which will trigger the Promethean, taking out the set Ash. Hard limited one, by the way. And now we're down to the Contain and Extinguish. That's it. Black Witch triggering the Snake Eye Flameburge, which will reborn 2 cards from the graveyard, Ash and the Oak. Diablo starts setting up the Seeker, which will not be usable this turn. Oak will be triggering to reborn the Poplar as we then link this up into a Nightmare Phoenix. Phoenix on summon will force out a back row activation. We're going to be discarding to pop and take out the Contain. Contain will be containing the Nightmare Phoenix. Thus, it cannot be used for further link climbing up into another link summon. Phoenix is stuck, and we just have Extinguish left. We entered the battle phase against a Zealantis that's co-linked. Huh? Okay, that does trigger our Raging Phoenix. We raging. We still have Extinguish, which we used on it last turn. All right. You don't have another Rescue Ace, so we get to attack in your Hydrant, which normally it cannot be attacked into. No arrows to link into. Yeah, he's actually blocked from linking. He can't use the Phoenix for the extra deck, and we can't link summon because there's nothing to use. We're locked out. That's fully locked out. If it were pointing backward, we could have continued to link summon. So that Contain on Phoenix was massive. Contain a Phoenix and they're locked out. Very well done. Divine Carnate will steal a monster during the end phase, come forth Preventer, and it's just so you don't use the Preventer yourself. We actually can't use Preventer. We have to control another Rescue Ace. It does not work off of you having a Rescue Ace. I can't believe Rescue Ace is going to win this. I thought Snake Eyes was winning, but boy, Rescue Ace has even better recursion with the field spell. We have the Phoenix on summon, discarding to pop, and also we're drawing a card here. So thank you very much. Banish off that Link Karibo and our Little Knights. Be gone. Let's get our nice freely drawn card after we wipe out that Wanted Seeker. Top decking an Impulse as we additionally summon the Impulse, and then we draw again. If we just had an easy way to pop the field spell, then Rescue Ace is not as good. What are some prevalent top tier decks that could easily... you would think with Little Knight, if you save Little Knight for the Rescue Ace field spell, that is the way. Come forth, Goddess. Goddess is going to full Field of Monster negate and negate any ability to reborn from the graveyard. That would be negating something like Promethean Princess, which she's stuck in the back row. Help me, stepbrother, I'm stuck. We have Turbulence setting up the back row. The Hydrant will make one of the back row cards newly activated. And we could keep on extinguishing. Do we extinguish the Phoenix? Let's go. Come forth from that. Activate the newly set Rescue, stealing your annoying Raging Phoenix that keeps on reborning from the grave after we destroy anything. Take out the other Nightmare Phoenix as we then take out Kurikara. This is where the Raging Phoenix would trigger. Holy moly. Just like that, Valdo lists with Rescue Ace, dominating Snake Eyes. Wow, I was wrong on the read. I felt like Snake Eyes had this in the bag. Rescue Ace, crazy. Top 4, begin. Chandelier discarding the transaction rollback, setting up our big welcome Labyrinth. Now on to you. We have Impermanent Negate. We could summon the Lovely. We could then pop a card from the hand or on the field. Triple Bonfire, all hard once per turn. Reinforce from the army, not hard once per turn. That's why you're limited to 1. 3 of you, all 3 would be activatable. Bonfire, it's up. Come to us, Poplar. Trigger that Poplar, special summon, chain the Maxi with no fear for the Gamma. We do not care. Come forth. Activate Poplar as we search for our original Sinful. We're going to be searching for an Airlifter. Summon the Airlifter so the newly summoned Hydrant will be untargetable on its summon. Now we're going to activate our regular Welcome Labyrinth, which will bring forth a lovely Labyrinth. This will give us the ability to non-target pop a card in the field or in the hand. Whoa! Ending. I mean, we're under Max C. Like, what? It's like, Max C. Yup, of course I'm ending. What back row card does Lovely pop? Is it Bonfire 2 or Bonfire 3? We're going to summon from the deck a Lady. We have nothing to chain link block that Lady, so it's going to set a free trap from the deck. Impulse will chain to the Lady to summon a monster from the deck, and then Lovely is going to get poppin'. We have to pop Turbulence now. We can't pop the back row unless we're willing to imperm the Turbulence, which would be quite wasteful. I feel like we just pop Turb. That's it. Trigger. Trigger. Now, which trigger are we using? This is adding, not drawing. Chain summon the Lady, trigger the Chandelier to add from the graveyard back to the hand after a monster leaves the field through a trap effect, which is how the Lovely is triggering. And on the resolution, that is when we pop. We got the Butler. Ooh, we're gonna activate Butler too. As I said, take out the the list is like, nah, I'm out. I'm out of here. Ain't no freaking way. Screw this. All right. Well, this will be an interesting match. Bonfire, it's up into the Poplar. We do have Impermanence. Let's speed on to when we decide to Imperm. We are going to be sending to come forth and summon the Hydrant, waiting for the activation of the Hydrant, but first we summon the Airlifter to make it untargetable. Thus, we now are going to just Imperm something. We got to, right? Imperm the Airlifter, otherwise we have nothing else to Imperm. As we then follow up with the Hydrant, searching for the Turbulence. You can't actually Imperm Turbulence because of that little freaking Knight. Now, here is where you're still feeling the delays and you don't know what it is. Is it a furniture? Is it a clock? Is it a lady? Is it another Veiler or Impermanence? So we have to make the Little Knight to dodge a potential Imperm or Veiler. Labyrinth is one of the few decks that could just hide their hand traps. And it's good. We're good. So that's confirmation that it's some furniture or lady in the hand that wants to activate and not something actually relevant. We're going to follow up with the alert. Come to me, Preventer. Now, there is a button in Magic Arena that says pass until the end phase. For Labyrinth players, I feel like, and some other decks too, I think that'd be a good button, right? What do you think? It toggle off until the opponent reaches the end phase. It's in Magic Arena, and I think it would be used kind of, enough at least for Labyrinth. And that is a reason why when you're playing against Labyrinth, sometimes they are delaying the duel unintentionally. They're like, listen, bro, I wish I could watch my Slice of Life anime while you're doing your turn 1, but if I don't pay attention in the end phase, I'm going to lose out on activating all my furniture cards. Banish from the grave, come forth. Preventer is here. Now, we can finally make our plays. All right, we have to be careful. If we activate our back row, the lady will chain to the back row, setting up a trap from the deck. And just by setting this, we're now no longer targetable. Immediately, the continuous effect is applied. We cannot be targeted. We're going to chain banish the Ariana since we can't touch the lady. And we got a double lady. Double lady it up. It has to be someone into defense. The one already in the field could go into attack. So we got 3,000 beatdown, indestructible by card effect, cannot be targeted. Clock is going to be sent to the grave to make the newly set cards activatable, at least one of them. Chain the lady. How do we chain link block? Well, I mean, we could chain link block with the rescue. Should we have done that? Is this a mistake? Potentially. We get a free dogmatic punishment that should not be there. Flip the whole field face down. And let's go. Goodbye to the rescue ace. And now back to you. End phase, reborn back. So I say it was a misplay definitively, like it definitely was, but the rescue had nothing in our own graveyard to reborn, but it could have reborned a monster from their grave. We could have stole their clock to chain link block. I think that was correct, right? Who disagrees with that? We're going to extinguish, wipe out the Ariana, and we now have big welcome into nothing. Do we have a transaction rollback in the graveyard? We do not. And now the seemingly unstoppable Labyrinth is not looking too hot right now. This is bad. They pretty much are losing. That's it. It's gone. It's over. Cut off their access to Lovely, where they can't continually pop your cards and recycle from the grave, which is an endless snowball. You're going to lose it once they use the effect of Lovely at least once of recycling from the grave. You're in a bad spot. We're now going to use the Dogmatic Punishment to pop the Hydrant. Now, how does this work? Do we still send? We are actually not going to. Now, this will target the monster, and then on the resolution, we're checking the attack of the monster. If it's no longer there, then we have nothing to send because there's nothing that's going to be equal or higher from the extra deck to the grave. So it's not about destroying the send. It's about, is the monster there? It's not, so I send nothing. We get no trigger, no draw, no pop, no nothing. Little Knight counters the Dogmatic Punishment. We got the Rescue Ace, return from the graveyard or banishment, 4 cards back. You know, I've said this a lot about Labyrinth. The deck looks overpowered or looks really bad, and there's no in between. It dominates you or it looks like trash. That's it. And this is where, honestly, the deck looks like trash. It's like, what are you doing in the top 4 with this trash? This is garbage. We're going to additionally summon, reborn from the grave. Let's get to it. Oh my God, let's speed this up. Like, there's no way. They cannot come back from this. Impossible. Additional summon. Yeah, get out of here. Now, the Impulse, even though there's a card face down, it looked like it targeted it. It chose it. It makes it so the opponent cannot activate the chosen non-targeted card that is, in a way, not targeted, but not targeted. Bro. Real. This is, you understand how we like count disruptions at the end of the turn? This is 0 disruption. Not 1, it's 0. 0, nothing. We did nothing. We passed on 0 disruption. All right, Link Karibo is here. Come forth, Little Knight. Even if we activate the big, didn't banish it, that was good. But if it were to be banished, that would be not so good. Oh, now we get ashed. Should we have chained Big Welcome? They chain Ash. Then we chain Called By before it gets banished. Should we? I mean, like we're cheating. We could see the hands, but without seeing the hands, is that not the correct play? I don't really know what to say. Should we have checked for Ash? Oh no, my finger's being forced. Before I forcibly finger a hydrant, let's try out our big welcome right here, right now. And it's gone. And now the big welcome is not even gonna go through. Nothing. Can't even summon Lady, return back Lady. We have to hope that they enter the battle phase by accident because they can't attack directly due to activating the Lil Knight. After going to the battle phase, we get to, at the end of the battle phase, big welcome Lady, return Lady, then evenly match their fields. Is that real? Or, it's gonna get ashed. Yeah, they can't kill now because they Lil Knighted. Do we accidentally battle phase? Rescue Ace, HQ, return back in the deck, draw one from you. Nope, that did not happen. All right, we are going to Ash negate that big Welcome Labyrinth mate. Now we have double evenly. If one evenly doesn't go through, the other would, but there is no negate to stop the evenly. Now, thankfully, we have Little Knight, so it's not absolute domination. It's still very good, but the Little Knight banishing itself plus a Turbulence will immensely mitigate the damage of that evenly matched. And the cards being banished face down, they're gone forever. The field spells, if we leave up the field spell, even then, all of the back row cards cannot be interacted with it face down banished. So what do? We're completely out of juice. No more Extinguish, no more Contain, nothing. I think we know what's going on here. We are sussed out. We're sussed out. So we can't get our Contain and Extinguish in the graveyard, but by activating all these cards before then, it is a good opportunity to get them into the grave. So I do think we're gonna even, the Little Knight's gone from the game. I don't know if I agree with that. That is quite sus. Leaving up a Contain, not even the field spell. And now the Contain can be recycled with the emergency. So that is actually a really good idea. Just forget the field spell, continually contain the monster, return it back in the field, contain them again. We can contain on both turns. Double contain, hit them with the max C. And do we evenly at the end of their battle phase? Or do we wait again for our next turn? That is the situation. Block lethal, damage potentially. They had 77, not enough for game. Now the emergency could special to, oh, there's the evenly. Banishing everything but one, and that's where Contain and Extinguish are now gone for good. We have a Welcome Labyrinth and there's no Ash. Is there a hope that they play into Nibiru? Possibly. Let's go. Let's go. This is it. No Ash off the top of the deck. Bonfire is a really good way to enable that Nibiru. We're going to special, into emergency special. How much specialing are we going to do? Summon one. Oh my gosh. Summon two. Get ready for that summon three, because it's definitely coming. Summon three. Searching for something to summon number 4. We stop on 4. No. We Nightmare Phoenix. And then we're going to summon number 5 into Nibiru. The 5th summon is coming. Now, Nibiru plus the Welcome Labyrinth is draw 3 off max C. So even though we lose our whole field, we're drawing 3. We're getting Lovely into circulation here. Not sure if that's a good idea, but we do have the finger to finger her out of the grave, and then she's gone for the game. 5. That's it. Nibiru keeps the Lovely on the field because you flipped it face down. Oh my gosh. Now you can't finger the Lovely, and now we could potentially recycle a trap from the grave because she is safe on the field. Now, she was a form of disruption because of the big welcome in the grave. The big welcome could spin a monster on the field back to the hand, and then she'll trigger to get poppin'. I do believe that was the fear. Dark is here. We are in main phase 1 still, stealing the lady. Can we still win? Oh my gosh, look how much we are further cooking after that Nibiru. 8850 damage on the field. And just like that, we have game. We still have game. Game through Nibiru. Lethal damage. There you go. If you hate Labyrinth, be happy. It's dead. Very nice. My friend Purrely. Should Summon Limit get hit, in my opinion? Summon Limit is broken because of the side deck. So there are some cards that are only good because of side deck. Red Reboot is only really good because of the side deck. So it's inverse. Like, some cards are good because there's no side deck, and some cards are too good because of side deck. So because of that, Summon Limit is, at the moment, not a problem. Because, you know, you go second, you have Summon Limit in a best of one game. It's just, you'd much rather it be a hand trap. We got the Pretty Memory, chaining the Nord to the Pretty Memory, get sucked and set up a trap from the deck. Let's go. Get leaping. And you can see right now, with Skill Drain being unlimited, the Snake Eye players in the TCG have moved on from the Summon Limit and now are playing Skill Drain. Lil Knight is here for further protection. And let's go. We have draw 4 in the standby phase. Yep. That is the way. And it all plays around Triple Tactics talent. Draw into an Ash. Draw into a 3rd and 4th card here. We're going to be unaffected from activated effects. Add 5 material. Very good. Gamma dead. You know, we have Ash and Moonlit Chill plus 2 spins and an SP Lil Knight. So disrupt, 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 disrupt 5. Poplar trigger, Moonlit Chill onto the Diablo Star. Let's get to it. Burn decks play Moonlit Chill because many of you probably forget the other part of the effect of if the face-up monster leaves the field, they take damage equal to its original attack. Nor gets spinning onto the Hydrant. Get out of here. So what's really interesting is in the TCG, it would be Hydrant, Chainlink 1 Fire Attacker, then they would chain the Nor, so that they would gain additional information before activating the Nor, where otherwise, there's no way for them to know if they're entering an open game state with the Hydrant or if a Fire Attacker is being added afterward. But in the TCG, you'd 100% know. You'd have that information before spinning. Begone the Hydrant, and let's get battling. Big enough to take out that SP Lil Knight, making sure to not activate anything. We have the Triple Tactics talent activatable to draw 2. Ash, negate, Call by the Grave, banish and negate, Finger the Fool. How much more broken would Purrely Nor be if you could spin your own cards? Banish your, or I should spin back your own Ash to dodge the Finger? That'd be crazy. Let's get that draw 2. The Rescue Ace HQ is here. Dark is here. What is your impression from today's tournament? Do y'all think that Rescue Ace is maybe at the same level or maybe a little bit better than Snake Eye now? And we all know that Snake Eye's still a really good deck, but Rescue Ace is clapping today. But then Snake Eye's going to have access to Fire King on Friday. So, you know, it's going to go back and forth, and then Snake Eye may become the best deck again through Fire King. Purrely Leap, return 3 cards in the grave, back into the deck you go. Let's go. And I think we all know that Purrely's going to be winning this duel. Purrely has a pretty good matchup against Rescue Ace through the Purrely Street, making you untargetable on your newly special summoned. Ash is going to negate. Didn't we finger the Ash? What? I think twice today we fingered ourselves. Yeah, so don't do that. But you know what happens. All right, let's hop into game number 2. So how do you do it? Well, you, oh my gosh, I guess you Ash, you Gamma, they Gamma, you're Gamma, and damn. That's what's gonna happen. Please Gamma me. Woohoo, we got Gamma. Gamma, the Ash, Gamma, the Gamma, Ghost Bell or Ash the Gamma. Damn, we didn't have it. That Veiler could have been an Ash to negate the Gamma. Holy moly, Gamma has been Gamma'd. Which was a lot more prevalent in the TCG when the card was at 3, which is now at 1. And let's get draw phase. Can't Veiler. Can't Veil. It's, you know, it's a small little detail but plays like these, they do add up, and we could keep on going if we want to go into a Lily. Lily into the My Friend Purrely. We're going to go into a Happy Memory, which will be able to at least search for one card. Attack once, draw, search once. Okay, we're going to Pretty Memory, equip the Pretty Memory, summon a Lily, then get fully negated by the Veiler, which is really unfortunate that we did not draw phase the Lily to get that guaranteed My Friend Purrely. But we're still in a decent spot here. We could search for the Purrely Leap, set that, and that's probably the play. Yep, that's exactly what we did. And we have no draw during the standby phase. And we only have a 4 material X Purrely Nor, so it's affected by all card effects. You would summon Impulse, you activate Impulse, the Nor is gonna have to just spin you before you even activate, and you get to chain summon whatever you want from the deck. Spinning Original Sinful before they could activate it. Let's read how this card works. Was that correct? Banish, target a card in the graveyard. So what if you chain target the card in the graveyard to spin that instead? Add, then place the targeted card that's no longer there back in the deck. So it does not even matter. If they swapped places, then it would be able to stop it, but it does not stop it. So very good. You do have to deal with it early. And I don't think I agree with this. I guess if we really want to, I mean, we could alert it back to our hand if we want to. Unless we really want our normal summon, you can normal summon Impulse. Nor has to spin it. There's no way around it. You activate Impulse, the Nor cannot activate for the rest of the turn, Nor has to chain spin, then you jump off the field and summon from the deck. It completely outs their spin. All right. But, you know, again, it does take up your normal summon. That's the only downside. Take up that normal summon. We're going to alert search our deck before we get spun back in, and we're just going to search another hydrant. Let's go. And there you go. We had to normal summon anyway, which, so we would summon Impulse, activate Impulse, so they spin us early. We chain jump off into a hydrant. We still have our alert. So my play was better to just normal summon the Impulse. Good job, Gargolo. All right, swapping up the player positions here. We have the Pretty Memory special summoning within the draw phase. We have Gamma. Ash can negate the Gamma. The Gamma is activatable again within that same turn. We are by Gammaing first. The Ash negate the Gamma. Our Maxi is now protected. All right, let's go. Very well done. Did we have double Ash? So come forth and summon, get poppin'. And wait, what just happened here? Did we ash the, I thought we ashed the Gamma? No, we chained Happy Memory. So my brain was thinking that we were chaining a card, so I blanked out that they were ashing it. They actually did not ash the Gamma. We only protected from destruction, which is very smart. By being negated, but not being destroyed, the card itself's not negated, the effect. So if the card's not negated, the effect's negated, we could still activate the effect to Xyz at the graveyard. If we have something to do, which could be the Happy or the Pretty, it would be the Pretty. So we're good. Very well done on that. If we Ash negated, we get the My Friend Purrely, but then it would negate the actual Xyz effect, so good, very good. We are airlifting off. Beauty is going to be a targeting card to negate the card. Well, since you're not negating my effect, I jump off the field. I dodge the negate completely, summon a Hydrant. Now, you know, that's a very real possibility that the Lifter does that. A lot of people don't think about it because it can't dodge a Veiler. It can't dodge an Impermanence. It has to be in response to a monster on the field. So we maybe just completely forgot that it could just jump off as it did. And with a 5-card hand, well, it had 4 cards. We should have expected that, right? And I think we probably would have lost anyway, though. Like to be real, what could we have really done? With a single Beauty, we had too much juice in our hand. So very well played from both players. Thank you very much. Let's take this into the grand finale. All righty. What do we have here? We have a situation where you summon SP Little Knight to dodge an Imperm or Veiler. Now, you have to take a gamble on, is my opponent really good at toggling off? Maybe they're hiding their Imperm, maybe they're hiding their Veiler, or they just don't have it. So what do you really do when you're in the grand finale? Maybe you should just turn off your thought of making reads on their field lighting up until it actually lights up. If it lights up, you can't fake that. It's something that's absolutely not ignorable. But by the time it would be lighting up, that's when we'd be trying to possibly be activating the Turbulence, then we get Nibiru'd, and it doesn't really matter. So we may still go into an SP Little Knight. The point is, if we're making plays and the field's not lighting up, we don't play into Nibiru, we don't summon an SP Little Knight, we just take the risk. So I feel like if we don't summon Little Knight, my point is, if they don't summon Little Knight, they're cheating, legally, okay? That's it, let's go. Send Turbulence to summon Diablo Star. Hey, their field's not lighting up, something's going on, or is there, okay? Summon for the deck, they don't have Ash, okay. All right, Preventer, Banish in the Grave. Even though the field's not lighting up, we still properly play around Veiler, Imperm, you know, just in case. And we're on summon number 3, summon number 4, okay. And, you know, I guess we're playing this legit. Did the field light up or not? Doesn't really matter. Now, does it? I guess it would matter if we could make an Apollo USA instead. So if the field lights up on the Little Knight summon, you don't summon Turbulence, you try to make an Apollo USA if you can, and alert, search for a Preventer. Did we already banish for Preventer? We already did. So, yep, got us. And we're gonna be banishing ourselves plus the Hydrant, alert, searching our deck. Holy moly, the Turbulence did not activate its own from the hand yet, so we still played around Nibiru. Let's go. Very well done. We played around Imperm, played around Veiler, we played around Nibiru, and that is a game-winning play, just like that. Having the ability to play through the targeted Disruption and summon another Turbulence after the Nibiru. Come forth, Masquerena eats up, set up our back row, come back onto the field. That was incredible. Now we do have the ability to banish. We could link off into Disruption, we could pop, we could negate, we could flip face down. We have 5 disruptions through a Nibiru. Crazy. Add Poplar with the Bonfire. Trigger the Poplar, come forth in special. We're not using up our normal summon yet. We have the original Sinful. Link this off into Link Kuribo, trigger the Poplar, equip into the back row. We could use our rescue to steal monster out of their grave if we want. Little Knights. On summon Little Knight, banish the Masquerena. We're gonna banish our Masquerena and the opposing Little Knight. And if we now chain our Little Knight to banish ourselves plus the opposing Little Knight, the Masquerena is gonna be permanently banished. Or we could banish the Hydrant. And yep, that's the situation. Ourself plus Hydrant? Yes. But if we follow up and use Contain or Extinguish, Contain will negate every effect from top to bottom, and then all we did was lose out on our Little Knight and our Contain. We're gonna chain Masquerena instead to link off of the Hydrant, and okay, that works out. So Little Knight just stays on the field, but it's used up. Banish nothing, banish nothing, banish nothing. Like, it looks weird, right? Like, how did it literally banish nothing? Both targets have to be on the field on resolution. If they're not there, no banish happens. So we have to use our Container Extinguish, we have to have something on the field that is a rescue ace. By summoning a Preventer and sending it to the graveyard, we're going to be triggering the Preventer to Reborn and Airlifter. We're gonna summon Preventer, summon from the deck a Fire Engine. Okay. If they special summon, that will trigger the Fire Engine. Fire Engine, summon from the deck as the Preventer reborns the Airlifter. Let's go. Alrighty. You know, I guess I should say, like, this is weird. Summoning a Promethean on your opponent's turn? What? Like, we really could not have summoned something better? Huh? All right, we have Hydrant. Hydrant, come to me, Preventer. Further linking this up into a Sprite Elf, making our Hydrant untargetable. We're gonna finger the Airlifter Okay, before they could banish a card from the graveyard to summon from the hand. So if we look at the graveyard, why did we finger preemptively? There's now 0 Rescue Ace cards in there. So they can't summon Preventer, and the Rescue Ace Turbulence is now another card behind on being able to be summoned. So we do get that 1 Hydrant in there, but we still can't summon a Turbulence in the hand. Come forth, Preventer, further link this up into a Nightmare Phoenix. Untargetable Nightmare Phoenix. How do we play in the Rescue Ace mirror match? We want to focus on being untargetable. So Sprite Elf is a major asset to this duel. Anything like Super Poly into a Mood Dragon, Sprite Elf into targeting protection, that is what's going to win this duel. Take out Contain. What are you containing, bro? You got to contain my Elf. Elf's going to chain to you containing it, reborning our Little Knight, which right now it's going to have no card effects, but that's fine. It's just back in the field to be used next turn. And now that the Elf is negated, it's no longer providing that targeting protection that we need from the Extinguish. Thus, we get Extinguished. Okay. Turbulence banished to come forth and summon. It looks like you're out of Disruption. Yep. No more Lil Knight, which is not disruption against Turbulence. No more back row. We get to safely set up that back row after playing through yours. Another big part of the mirror match is going to be the field spell, as we have right here, recycling our cards. Are we going to have a way to deal with the opposing player's field spell? We're going to try to make something like a Masquerena. And we already have the SP Little Knights summoned early onto the field, so we're not going to get their trigger effect of banishing the field spell. To battle we go, wiping out the opposing Little Knight for good. We have the Emergency setting up the Contain to be used again next turn. That is the Masquerena. But can the Masquerena go into something? We have 2 Little Knights? What? Okay. Double Little Knight. My Little Knight, my second Little Knight will banish your Rescue Ace HQ, very likely. That is something. They're both not playing Double Little Knight, and they're both not playing Sprite Elf. So Gargolo, built for the mirror match. Elf for targeting protection. Double Little Knight to get rid of that field spell. Interesting. Very interesting. Now, can we do something with the Masquerena against the Promethean before it activates? No. They have turn player priority to activate it as the first thing they do in the main phase before Masquerena pops off if they were to fear something like an SP Little Knight banishing it. Now, we'll still banish, but we still reborn. But we're going to use Extinguish onto the Hydrant. Now, does Extinguish turn off our own Hydrant? Not that it's even activatable during the opponent's turn anyway. Your opponent is the one that could not activate Hydrant for the rest of the turn. Only the opponent, okay? Add the Impulse, which will chain to the Promethean Princess. This is it. This is where first we Contain, then we Little Knight, the second Little Knight. That's it. That's the winning play. Elf, double Little Knight, what is going on? There's no way to get back the field spell. It's gone from the entire duel. There is no recycling besides the emergencies, recycling the traps. After we run out of emergencies, we run out of recycling. 2 Little Knights on the field. Have you ever seen a Sprite Elf protecting 2 Little Knights? No one's seen this. Contain's dead. We can't even activate it with the Poplar on the field. Get Reborning, Emergency, recycle our own trap from the grave. Original Sinful, return back the deck. Search first, you can't add the card you return back into the deck. Our Extinguish is activatable since it was set through the Emergency. Further showconning this up into a Hida. Hida ready to steal a monster from the opponent's graveyard. Thank you for your Airlifter. I will now be searching. And Promethean can reborn the Elf if we want to, but it will no longer provide the targeting protection. I have the field spell, you don't. That's checkmate, right? That's it. How are you going to compete with that? We're going to every turn recycle all of our disruption, and you can't do the same. And I think we just win this turn anyway. 11,000 damage. Are we good? We good? Now, the field spell is only boosting while the opponent controls a monster, so if they clear out the field, they're going to lose about 1,500 damage if they don't use that on attacking into the monsters. Did we extinguish the Masquerena Promethean, right? It's influenced by the Masquerena, but it doesn't show that, so thank you, Konami. Happy people, I don't know, are the game states becoming too advanced where we're forgetting? Should the game show that it's influenced by Masquerena? I think it should. Konami, come on. But still, you know, we should be remembering. We should. Making an access code talker. We still can't pop the Promethean Princess. It's still protected. It's not protected the first time it would be destroyed. It's protected every time it would be destroyed. Again, wipe out the Poplar. Now, if you Zealantis banish it, then it comes back. It forgets that it gets wiped. It's no longer protected by Masquerena. And you are going to be banished due to us triggering our Poplar, which maybe we should have not triggered. But to be fair, I don't think it mattered, right? Didn't matter. Lethal damage. Going into game 2, I am definitely fearful for the Elf and double SP Little Knight. It's something to definitely keep in mind. We are not playing Elf. We are not playing a second Little Knight. So can we even win this? And do look out for Melodious being used in Snake Eyes. That's what they're doing. With limited 1 Ash, it's a really good way to search Ash. Imperm, negate the Hydrant. Hydrants is here. It is now knocked out. We didn't have that additional summon. And it's blatantly obvious. It's additional information. If they activate Hydrant on an open field with an open normal summon, that's the opponent telling you, I don't have another monster to summon. That's it. If I had another monster, the correct play 100% is to summon that other monster. You have to think backwards like that. You have to think what's in their hand. You can't just be looking on the field and get ready to negate. We do have Contain, we do have a Finger, we do have Max C, so we're not out of this yet. Diablo Star, send, come forth. There's a Hydra in the graveyard. We're going to contain the Diablo Star, and she cannot be used for Link summoning. She cannot attack, can't be used for the extra deck. She's stuck on the field. Hydrant with the Hydrant in the grave, Finger the Hydrant into the graveyard, and we're just going to chain summon the emergency, but the Maxi will be chained in response to thee. Thus, you have now played into my Triple Tactics talents. Do we look at the 1 card in your hand? Of course we do. What if it is a Veiler, right? Or an, impermanence wouldn't matter. But I think we take a gander, spin it back, activate Turbulence, set up our field, and we're good. Whoa! No? Not activating Triple Tactics talent. That was interesting. Okay. If it's a Veiler, what can you do? They're going to chain it, right? I mean, what can you can't Hida into Promethean. You can't. You can't link off with the Diablo Star. So what could stop this? That the Triple Tactics could stop? There's nothing, right? There's nothing. There's nothing that this would stop. So are we just drawing 2? You're still looking? Why? Okay. If I activate the Chain Veiler, then I lose my Triple Tactics talent. If I activate my Turbulence, they Chain Veiler, I get to draw 2. It looks weird, but that was actually the correct way to play that. If this was not contained, then we would look at the hand, force the Veiler, then they make a Hida into Reborn, into Promethean, into Reborn Turbulence, into then activate Turbulence. That would be the correct play. But for this very specific scenario, oh, by the way, you fingered your own Hydrant. Again, we keep on fingering ourselves. I don't know what's going on. Oh, it's a battle. Okay. Liz, what was that? What was that, Liz? Liz is not allowed to surrender, or they are surrendering their prize support. Yup, that is true. So, Gargolo, please finish the duel quickly. We have that for good reason, because we do want to showcase the rest of someone's combo. There's always something to potentially learn. I don't want you to lose out on a learning moment in the grand finale. And just like that, lethal damage. Gargolo, good job to you, my friend. Very well done. Very much impressed with your playing of 1 Elf and 2 SP Little Knights. I do think a lot of it has to do with the mirror match. In the mirror match, we want to summon Little Knight early. But if we summon Little Knight early, what about using Little Knight to banish the field spell? Well, how about I just play a second Little Knight? It makes so much sense. More people should be doing it. Meta Weekly 114, abiding by the brand new Konami applied ban list. Let's see what's good. Is Snake Eye finally no longer the most dominant and most prevalent deck? And we are right before the release of the new Fire King cards that are coming, which I think, personally, my prediction is it will be the new best way to play Snake Eye. I know a lot of people think pure Snake Eye is better. It is in the TCG. We are in a different version of the game consistently throughout OCG. I believe that, not believe, but it's a fact that Snake Eye Fire King has been the better way to play Snake Eye, to the point where they had to hit Kieran itself. They weren't hitting the Snake Eye cards. They hit Kieran because of Snake Eye Fire King. And it's going to come out to us unhit, and I think the best way to play Snake Eye. Believe it. And with that said, whoa. Does Snake Eye now need Fire King to compete with Rescue Ace? What the heck happened here? Rescue Ace. It's just one tournament. We need more tournaments, okay? At least 2 weeks, I'd say. At least, maybe even 3. And we also have the new pack. So Snake Eye, pure Snake Eye, is on its way out. Fire King Snake Eye is coming in this week, which we'll have a tournament for. And we're going to be figuring out Rescue Ace at super full power, or Snake Eye Fire King, which is not at the fullest of power, but even with the hits to Ash and the Wanted Seeker, it might be better than Rescue Ace. Being able to pop the field spell, pop back row cards with the Kieran, it's going to be nuts. All right. Starting off with Makonko. Zugio, good job to you. Choosing to not play the Infernoble version, and we have double cherries with a lot of different extra deck monsters to banish from the opponent's extra deck. Maybe tossing a hug in potentially. You know, maybe Runick is too rare to even expect to play against, so maybe you're fine. But good job, Zugio. We then have Branded. 60 card branded Abomod. Abomod bricked. So here is the main deck. We have the Phantasme for the Snake Eye matchup. And then here is the extra deck there. Good job to you playing Anaconda. All right. We then have Plunder Patrol. Odds. I love the deck, my friend. Good job to you. And this is a good time. I do want to be playing something like this. From, I think Odds is the one who played Plunder Labyrinth, right? From Plunder Labyrinth to now Plunder Chimera. Is that what you did? Yes. It's just you do the switch. The furniture cards got hit, even though you played it past hit. You are on Chimera instead. So you have convinced me. I will do the same. So thank you, Odds. What else do we have here? We have Bystial Runick Brock, who got first place of the Meta Weekly with Poplar Band, came back after some further Snake Eye hits, and this is how they are playing the deck. So good job, Brock. I very much appreciate you playing this. And I do have to see, did Brock change the way that the deck is played? It is, I think it is exactly the same. I don't know if you could see my head's blocking it. No change, right? No change at all. I don't see anything. Exactly the same. Nothing is broken, nothing to fix. Good job. Let's keep on going. We have Ignister. Biggie Cheese. Holy moly. We cheesed so many opponents today with our firewalls. That was a good time. Good job with that. Singularity, Firewall Dragon. I don't think I really saw you summon Dark Fluid as much or at all. So good job, Biggie Cheese. We then have Labyrinth, Hakimo in the top 4, 40 card clean, double Daruma Cannon. I am very happy to see that Labyrinth is no longer playing Dimensional Barrier, not because they are trying to be less toxic, it's because Dimensional Barrier is just not as good. Dimensional Barrier doesn't say Link on it, that's the only reason why. But nonetheless, happy to see it. Good job to you. And then what do we have here? Double Heroes. Interesting. Okay, Super Hammy with a very nicely well-built deck here, 46 cards, versus Ziad with a 40-card clean version of Heroes. There is the extra deck, and then you also have the main, everything in one picture here. Good job, Ziad and Super Hammy. We then have Snake Eye. Fictinium is here. Fictinium is top tier. And so what are my opinions about Snake Eye having the same tops as Heroes? Does that mean it's as good? I would say that Heroes, in this scenario, my first glance is that Heroes is topping more so out of passion That's the great thing about Yu-Gi-Oh! You could have players that are so dedicated to a single deck type where they love and play only that deck all day and night, and that's what Heroes is. Will this maintain the same cadence of topping week after week? No, I don't think so. I do think Snake Eye's definitely better, but is Snake Eye as good as Purrely now? That's another discussion. I think that's likely a scenario here where, Heroes kind of a fluke in a way where two of them topped and won a tournament, but this is a normal occurrence, I'd say. But then Snake Eye's going to fall off for Snake Eye Fire King, which is still Snake Eye in a sense. So, good job, Fictinium. Fictinium in a way is a fanatic of the deck, so it is another, it is hard to believe. Someone who is passionate for the deck itself and not just playing it because it's the best deck. And then, Asim we got Kashtira. Yep, Kashtira in Snake Eyes. I hate Unicorn so much. You piss me off. Oh my gosh, Jesus. Only because I was recently playing Salamangreat, and I was trying my best to play with just 2 Balinks and 2 Raging Phoenix, and the Unicorn's just eating away at my extra deck where I was trying to optimize it with having Zelantis and Little Knight. Damn you. All right, then we have Purrely. Justinian, good job. Good deck. Thank you, Justinian. I like Purrely. Maybach. We have Ghostrick Purrely. Very nice. Again, is this really, Ghostrick. Got the Ghostrick shot. And then we have Rescue Ace. 60 card, and you're not playing with Snake Eye. Gargolo. Got the extra deck. Here is the main. Very good. And then 44 card Devastation Team Baldo. Good job to you. And then we have Judeo Yu-Gi-Oh! Judeo Yu-Gi-Oh! 45 card. This is a good deck list. All of them are good.